of challenging it. Finally, the question of Islam, I'm not familiar enough, I admit, but let me tell you about the fear that you dealt with, So much what goes on in Iraq and Lebanon is connected to American policy, to colonialist past, and to Zionism, as well as to the problems of the political culture of the Arab world. And one of the things that gives me a lot of hope, and I think is a bit hypocritical of Israelis who do not see it, because they can easily see it, is that as an Israeli Jew, I don't have to deal with the people of Iran, or the people of Algeria, or the regimes in Iran, or the regime in Tunisia. I have to ask myself, as a decent human being, can I live or can I not live with the Palestinians, not with the Iranians, not with the Baha'is, with the Palestinians? Can I, after everything that my political movement did to them, is it too late for us to live together, or do we have now to wait for 100 years of Palestinian revenge? One of the most amazing collective characteristics, if one can use it that way, of the Palestinian people is how are they willing, still, after everything that was done to them, how is there still the most basic impulse is to share the land with us? I don't understand why. But most of the Palestinians I know and I read and I come across in all my life of activism say to me that they want to live as normal people. That's all. They want normality. If they were expelled, they want to return. If they have been discriminated, they want an end to the discrimination. If they have been military ruled, they want an end to the military rule. They're not interested in expelling me, of having military rule over me, of colonizing me. They want to share normal life with me. This is what the Palestinian people want. And this is unfortunately not what the Israeli Jews want today. And once they would want it too, you know, this would be a paragon for joint life. Would hopefully would influence also other regimes. So I think instead of being frightened by demonized stories about Muslims and Arabs and so on, based on reality, not based on reality, the Israeli Jews should look inside and ask themselves, how can Jewish people after the Holocaust behave the way the country behaved towards the Palestinians, and what is the best way of changing it, and what is their role in changing it? Yeah, I'm sorry about it. I missed one. I remember I missed one question. It's a long process, the change of view. It doesn't happen in one day. It's not a big revelation that takes place. It's a journey with stations. But I think the most important thing is you meet Palestinians and you see them as human beings, and you suddenly see the story from the other side. And if you are a professional historian, you also see the documents. And it fuses into a story which you've never told about, and you are able to see the truth and to face even the animosity of those around you because you say something they don't want to hear. And I think decency requires you to go on with it. Not that you like to do this. Nobody likes to hold the mirror for their own society and tell them how they look. Nobody likes to be unliked by their own society, family, neighbors, and so on. But it's very difficult not to stop it once you know the truth. I think that's something one cannot stop, especially if you have a privileged position. I can never understand how people in privileged position are not using it for the benefit of others, and rather sort of saying, oh, I won't change anything that, you know, undermines my privileges. So it was a long journey. I hope one day to write it in a book, so they won't have to answer these questions. But they're important questions, I agree. And thank you for your patience.